well led for us, but it's being well led for the interests of some
big business.
people, the people who are ruling
Killing
the countries and the multinational
Don't you
companies.
know killing people is big business? War is big business. That is how they make money.
It has always been like that. War has always been something important for human beings.
Any good from people
Sorry, say again.
That's the way of humans. Listen, you guys have a very contemptuous look on history.
They are brutal.
Which I can describe all of your arguments, and that word is sanctimonious.
What is sanctimonious?
What is sanctimonious? It's the feeling of having a moral high ground over another. It's the feeling of imposing your morality and saying your morality
Do I think you're
is
better than me, or do you think I'm better than you?
I'm not saying I'm better than you. I'm saying I can explain my point better than you can explain yours, and thus my point is better than yours.
Tell me, what is your point?
My point is, when an empire conquers other nations, it has the duty of improving the lives of the people.
When it conquers another nation, it doesn't have any duty. It conquers to exploit that country. Any country which goes... Yeah, it is for exploitation.
There is exploitation, but if in the end they improve that country...
They will never, I mean...
This is
it's
about controlling trade routes in the ancient world.
Are you denying all the structure of power right now?
fuck your
Humans
country.
cannot survive. Fuck your power. Humans cannot survive without power. Humans cannot survive without a structure. You are having very idealistic, very utopic ideals that will not work ever. You need to wake up. You need to look at the world as it is. You will not be able to change the world if you have no power.
All this has been done. All this has been done. You're telling me, like your argument, all this has been done for the good of the people.
Not all, of course.
Show me
But there are some leaders who have improved the world.
Show me some examples of all done for the good of the people. Good of the people. The First World War was for the good of the people. The Second World War was for the good of the people. What are we talking? Mao's for the good of the people. What are we talking about here? For the good of the people.
Did I say that the first or second
or
or Mao's China was for the good of the people? They thought it was for the good of the people.
Who thought?
Mao.
Mao thought.
That's
One
what he
man.
thought.
One man thought. But millions died.
Because Mao was an idiot.
Millions
He
died.
was a madman.
He was a
He
madman.
didn't know what he was
All
doing.
the leaders are madmen.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they
No,
are.
they're not. They are
Donald
leaders
Trump.
who
You
improve the
take
world.
Donald Trump.
There are many
How is
leaders
Donald
who
Trump mad?
improve the world.
Is he?
Leaders are
Maybe
just
a con
one
artist,
thing.
but doesn't make him mad.
Power.
That makes him
They say he's a
Individual
racist
power. That's what
man.
leaders want. That's all leaders want.
Yes, but
power.
how they use that power is what
No, but
makes
they-
them good or bad.
But they often use it for bad as well. They usually use it for bad.
Often,
It's often
not always.
Well, give me an example.
What's your
One example.
What's your opinion on Julius Caesar?
Oh yeah, well, he's dead and gone.
He's an incredible general.
Yep.
He
Administrator.
sometimes,
Administrator.
yes, he was the first dictator of the Roman Empire. He was never an emperor. That's a big misconception by some people. He never.
Well, he was called
came to be an emperor.
Imperator, which is like a term that did become emperor.
It was the same kind of imperator that was later when the Romans became an empire.
Imperator
He conquered
Kaiser.
Gaul, he conquered Britain, even though later on, Britain rebelled against his conquest and had to be reconquered. He did lots of things for the Roman Republic, and eventually he rebelled against the Roman Republic. And because of Julius Caesar and the man that followed him, like one of his adopted sons, Marcus Octavian and Mark Antony.
Yeah.
Mark Antony, yeah. Because of those people, the Roman Republic became a Roman Empire because it could not keep being a republic.
Yes.
There were big flaws in the republic,
Very
big flaws
corrupt.
that were preventing such a large amount of lands and different peoples to be ruled.
On the back of a huge slave trade. Like the Roman Empire.
That was the economy for every civilization back then.
Almost every civilization on that time practiced
they
slave
don't.
trade.
You see, I'm pointing my
But look at
so
Italy
they
today.
don't count. The people don't count.
Look at Italy
do they?
today, the Roman Empire, the north and the south. I mean, the south, still is so backward.
What
south?
south?
The south of Italy.
South of Italy.
Yeah, that's because they
The
were.
mafia
That's
is
because they
there.
Yeah,
invaded
there's
by
a
the
lot of mafia
Arabs
there.
and the Muslims that conquered that
They
area
rule
for
the
a
whole
while.
world,
They did,
and
they
look
did.
at them today. How they are.
Yo, you notice
Southern
they look
Italy has
different
been in
to
many
the northern
different
Italians.
hands. It has been in the hands of the
Look at
Normans,
Modi in
which
India
which
now.
were the Vikings, and it was in the hands of the Muslims, and it was in the hands of many different peoples. It was in the hands of
And
the
they ruled
Byzantine
the world
Empire.
for one.
Sorry?
The Roman Empire, they ruled the whole world. And look at them today.
You heard of the Catholic Church?
So what? The Romans improved the world. The Romans built roads, they built aqueducts, they built temples that other people
Sewer
couldn't even
systems.
dream of.
Not
Sewer
all.
systems. They improved civilization. They gave something for the future generations to follow, to improve on. The Muslims, when they conquered the Eastern Roman Empire, they used the Roman coins, they used the Roman tax system. They practically imitated almost everything how the Romans ruled themselves. Sorry?
Just like the Romans used the Persian roads.
The Persian roads.
I mean, the Romans
There
gave
were
this
not too
country
many
their name.
Persians.
Do you know London comes from the Romans?
Persians were not very well known for building
know that
roads.
London-
Romans are the
What?
ones who were
You
well
were the
known
first ones to build
for
roads,
building
bro.
roads.
Persians were the first ones to build roads.
There we go.
I know, actually,
you know the name
actually
London?
the Celts didn't make their own roads.
You
They
don't know
just made out
that. I know,
timber.
let's search that then. No, but
Yeah.
search that. Come back to me next week. Search that. Building of roads.
All right. I think we're having a bit of a misconception here because the first civilization that ever existed was in Mesopotamia, and I know very well about that. And if you consider
what about the
that seeing that they
civilization in
built
India, the
roads, it
Mohenjo-
means that
Daro
seeing that they
and
were
the
the first
Harappa.
civilization, and thus they built roads, and thus they were the first ones to build roads, and thus the Persians
talking on the
were the
empire,
first
we're
ones
talking
to
on the
build
empire.
roads. Then yes, you're correct.
No, we're talking
But
on the
the
empire,
Romans
no,
built
no.
a far
In terms
more
of from country to
intricate
country.
and a far
Yeah, of
more
course, 'cause they're later
complicated network of roads around the world. That's why they had the saying, all roads lead to Rome. Because the Romans were the ones who built very complicated roads, some of which still exist nowadays, which is amazing.
And straight.
The roads we build now, like they get destroyed to shit in a few years. The Roman roads still exist.
Well, what is your point about Rome and how much you love Rome? What is it about? What are you trying to get?
Because they improved the world.
Well, many civilizations past. Like, what I'm saying, what's your emphasis on Rome and Romans?
I'm giving Romans as an example. You can also give the Achaemenid Empire as an example, which is also known as the Persian Empire. It's a very good
First
empire.
human rights.
Huh?
First ever declaration of human
Yes,
rights.
they didn't have slavery.
have
I mean, they
slavery.
did have kind of a serfdom, which is
Which was even to modern Europe.
comparable to slavery, but it wasn't exactly slavery. It wasn't like, for example, in Greece. The Greeks were developed in some things, while the Persians were developed in other
what
things.
did
And when
Alexander do when he got to Persepolis? What did he do? When he conquered
Alexander
Persepolis, what did he
united
do?
the best things of the two
When he got to
civilizations.
Persepolis, what did he do?
Sorry?
When he got to Persepolis, Alexandra, what did he do?
Got wasted.
Okay, what did he do?
Burn it down.
No, he didn't.
Bro, if you don't know history,
The only city Alexander burned to the ground was Tyre, which was an island city, and he burned it down because Tyre was resisting him for a very long time.
So how does all,
Wait, to be fair,
how
he
does
didn't
all
want
this
to
apply
burn it down. It was
in
something that got out of hand.
2019? What does it
we don't
mean
know
to
that.
us
It's
now?
history. It's a very.
No, he loved the beauty of the
I don't
art.
understand the question. What's your
No,
question?
no, my
He
question
burned down the
is,
palace as a.
No,
how
that's
do you
because
relate
his
it?
men did it
I mean, I
first.
can say, so what? That's 2,000 years
Well, that's
ago.
an
I am
example.
So
trying
what?
to
Like,
give you
I'm not saying
guys
he wasn't a good,
examples
but like the
of
best thing.
beneficial empires,
Well, his power only
of
came with his men, and
kingdoms
if he
and
pissed them
empires
off-
that improved the world, that gave the people justice, that gave the people a new way of thinking, that organized the people in a society
What's he
that
trying to
would
get at?
work together.
I mean,
That's why
I don't-
empires, at least many of them, are beneficial.
I'm not
And what I'm seeing here is that people have an unreasonable hatred towards empires.
No.
Empires are
No.
great, they're amazing. They made the greatest improvements in mankind.
like the British,
Yes.
like the British Empire.
Yeah, like the British.
The British Empire did many improvements in the world.
What
And
about,
many bad
what about in
things, though.
India?
Sorry?
What about in
All these
India?
empires did many bad things as well.
They fucked
Yeah,
India
but
up.
should we also?
And
They were
that's
there
my
for
point.
300 years
If an
and
empire
look
does
at
some bad
empires
things, but
or
overwhelms
ones that
those
were
bad
got
things
all
with
straight
great
up.
things that they did, then that
absolutely-
empire
I
is
think-
justified.
I got the balance absolutely completely wrong.
Go ahead. Sorry?
What empire?
I'm giving the example of the Roman Empire, for example.
That's your one example.
That's one example. Another example is the Macedonian Empire. If Alexander didn't die so soon, if he was able to give himself decent hair, there wouldn't be basically a war for his kingdom, a struggle for his kingdom between his generals.
So-
What's about it?
so-
You can't really say that. You don't know.
The Persian
what
Empire was good. The
no,
Macedonian
no,
Empire was
listen,
good. The
I-
Chinese empires, the different Chinese
The Han
empires were
Empire.
good. The Han Empire, exactly.
accept what you said, but I mean,
The Roman Empire.
What I'm saying is logically,
Empire
step by step, we
Not
are.
all of empires. Not
Step,
all
so
empires.
we're
Muslim
taking
empire is
step
not
by
good.
step.
But how is it
We are where
Islamic?
we are now. Do you think the world positive improved?
Because of the empire.
Because of the empire, yeah.
Of course.
Really?
No doubt about
No, really.
that. No
You mean-
doubt
but-
about
but
that.
more people are dying now than ever died in the history of mankind.
Yeah, because there's more people now than there ever was during the history
Yes,
of
but
mankind.
here we are. There's more war. War is commonplace across the world now. All over the place.
It has been more commonplace long ago.
Travel through Africa and tell me you really believe that That's led to some peace.
You're missing the point. You're missing my whole point. I'm saying when an empire conquers a new people, they have the obligation of improving the lives of those people.
But they don't fulfill that obligation.
The Mongolian Empire, the Timurid Empire.
It was good for the Mongolians.
Some Islamic empires were worse than the others. In the beginning, when Islam started expanding, they were not actually a bad empire. They conquered relatively peacefully without many exterminations, and they used many of the good policies and good, like for example, as I said, the Roman coins and the Roman way of taxation. They adopted it, so that was good in the beginning of the Muslim empires.
You see your point? When you were speaking about Chinese Empire, Roman Empire, you were saying only the good. But when you come to Muslim, you say...
Yeah, of course. What? No, I'm not. What are you talking about? Are you listening to me? Are you paying attention? I'm saying the beginning of the Islamic Empire was good. But not all Muslim empires were good.
Like old empires.
Not like all the empires. Some empires were better than others. I'm saying some Muslim empires were better than other Muslim
They destroy
empires.
to build something else.
Excuse me?
They destroy something to build something else.
Well, yeah, if they gave something in return to the people they conquered, then they're justified. If they gave empires.
Who tell you that what you give me is important?
But an empire's goal is to further itself.
I feel like my whole point is being missed here.
You're judging
My whole point is being missed
the
here.
empire by how it treats the conquered.
I'm judging an empire by two things. First of all, the sacrifice that was necessary to build the empire. Second thing, by the reward to that sacrifice. If the sacrifice is very great, the reward must be very great too. If the sacrifice is bigger than the reward, then the empire is not justified.
But all these empires you talked about, their primary goal is to further their own empire, right?
Of course.
Not to necessarily help the people that they conquer.
Of course.
Their primary objective
Is to expand.
is money, themselves.
Is to expand
Exactly,
power.
Exactly.
Power, yes.
But so we can't say that. Well, you could say in terms of empire, what else could have been? There could have been there could have not been anything else.
Humans just don't improve enough in small different countries. Like for example, let's look at the different tribes. Let's look at the empires in Mesoamerica, right? They were very developed in some things, like for example astronomy, astrology, and mathematics.
Is going to speak in a bit. Do you want to
Okay, I'll be finished soon.
She wants these.
Oh, this. Oh.
Listen, I very much disagree with you, and I gave you a platform, so I disagree with her as well.
Let's
give her a
finish.
platform.
Let me finish about
then you're gonna speak
Maoist
as well.
China. Let me just give some details, because the last day I did say about the politics of the 5 plagues Mao did, and I was wrong, because it wasn't the policy of 5 plagues, it was 4 plagues. Of the were they bad? It was the rats, flies, mosquitoes, and sparrows. Now, this was one of the main policies of Mao, and this was one of the main follies of Mao, because they started exterminating all the sparrows, and eventually when all the sparrows died, the locust population reproduced to such a rate that they had to buy sparrows from other countries. They had to buy off sparrows because they were stupid enough to completely annihilate their ecosystem in China. Now, other stupid things that Mao did was the Cultural Revolution. When the Cultural Revolution started, it was, their main points were to destroy the past, destroy the Chinese history. Destroy Chinese history. And when Mao realized it was going to shit, because the youths were walking around with red armbands and they were attacking anybody who seemed to have a bourgeois haircut or a bourgeois clothing, they would attack anybody. It was complete chaos. Many people died because of just that stuff. Now that was the Cultural Revolution. Now, but the Great Leap Forward was the biggest folly of Mao. It has 38 million deaths because Mao put unrealizable quotas for the peasants and for the farmers of China. They could barely achieve enough grain to feed themselves, to feed all of China. And he told them to make 2 or 3 times more than they could. And they lied to the collectors. They lied so they would not be shot at the spot. And when the collectors realized that they've been lied to, they retaliated. They attacked the peasants, and we had a lot more deaths than it was necessary. Many follies that Mao did because he just didn't realize how to rule a country. And this is the Mao's China was one of the worst empires. Was one of the worst countries that ever existed because the sacrifice the deaths of the people were completely unjustified, and the reward was almost inexistent.
The reward was inexistent.
What was the reward then?
China now.
China now? You think China now is good?
In terms of what? In terms of what they were.
Yeah, of course. Oh, wait a second.
Guys, China now has
Thank you very
the
much,
most
Pavlov,
developed.
speaking. I'm gonna. This is my platform. My name is Kyle Farron. I've been coming to Speaker's Corner for a long time. I'm gonna introduce my friend Lisa to speak now as well.
Content over everything from your humanity.
Man, say it straight. Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to ITV. Listen.
World affairs and politics.
World affairs and politics. Okay, thanks.
Thank you very much. Oh my God. I need a crane. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is a political speech. Unfortunately, the weather is merciless. Nonetheless, we must be informed what is going on in the world. I just came back from